You've probably heard people tell you only risk what you can afford to lose. And while that sounds easy enough and like, okay, the video's over, it's super general and it's not actually that helpful once you get into it, especially for those new to trading. So in this video, I want to take a bit of a different approach in answering that question of how much money should you actually risk in trading? Now, there are two kind of pathways or two avenues to start to go down that we're going to cover in this video. The first is per trade and the second is total. Now, I think before we get into total, we should start with per trade because we got to take a trade before we can lose the account. Or hopefully we're not losing accounts. But if you ask the internet or ChatGPT, you're going to find that they'll say 1 to 2% per trade. And that's pretty standard. Like you hear that all the time. So 1 to 2% of, let's say, a $5,000 account would be between $50 and $100. But shouldn't something like experience matter? What about personal tolerance? What about your own personal income? Are you supporting yourself? The reality is that all of those things absolutely factor in, but there is a very, very simple way to answer this question. Let me explain. No matter if you are a beginner or a more experienced trader, you are going to at some point go into drawdown. That means losing for an extended period of time, going on a losing streak, something along those lines. You need to risk an amount of money that when you go through the inevitable drawdown or losing streak, you can come out on the other side okay, because that is part of trading. Despite what some think and despite this picture you might have in your head of consistent every single day, I make 1%, every single day I make money, every single day I do this, once I'm profitable, then I'll never lose. No, you absolutely will lose, and it's not as linear as you think. There's a lot more bumps in the road, and sometimes some of those bumps take you down for a bit. You might hang out, and then you come back. That's just the way the game is. So the amount of money that you have here or risking per trade needs to get you through that, not discourage you when you inevitably go through that, and then allow you to get out the other side without having to dramatically change the sizing of your trade. So if you think about it, if you're trading with a certain size and then you lose 6, 7 in a row, or you lose 8 out of your last 10 trades, your account's going to go into drawdown, or it likely goes into drawdown. Now, if it goes into drawdown by a decent margin, you might not be able to use the same trading size, or that same trading size is now risking a much larger percentage of your account. Here's an example. On, let's say, a $5,000 account like I used in the first example, here's what I would do. I do not want my account to drop under $3,000 due to margin abilities, meaning like I want to have over $3,000 in my account so I can utilize margin on my brokerage account. And I know that if I start with $5,000, that gives me a $2,000 buffer. I know that my worst case scenario, I have lost 10 trades in a row. So worst case scenario, I take $2,000 divided by 10 trades in a row. That gives me $200 max risk per trade. Sometimes I'll be able to under, sometimes I'll have break-even trades, but $200 max risk is where I want to be in that scenario. Everyone has different desires and needs and situation, but that's kind of how it worked for me to keep roughly the exact same size on all my trades. Now, if you do plan to supplement your trading account with your active income, that does factor in, because if you know you're going to have money coming in, great, like that could increase your size, but be very, very careful because it's very easy to just funnel money in, and now you have an endless money pit, A, or B, you're funneling money in, you're building your account, and now you're risking a lot more, and you're all over the place with your risk because you go into drawdown, you lose for a bit, then you add in money, then you win some, and now you're all over the place. Keep that consistent, or as consistent as you can make it. The other point to make here is there should be no reason to increase your trading size or your average risk per trade if you have not proven profitability. Like, doesn't make sense. Like, just think about it. Why would you do that if you are not profitable? But when you are profitable, scale up, baby. Why not? Because you've proven it. Scale up. Can you continue? If so, keep scaling up and don't stop because it's working. Now, for what we should risk in total, let's get into it. But first, a quick word from the sponsor of today's video, Iron Beam.
Welcome to Iron Beam, the future of futures trading. With our cutting-edge chart trading feature and 300+ indicators, you can now trade directly off the chart anytime, anywhere. Delivering seamless trading across all platforms, the Iron Beam journey is supported by 24-hour trader support, low day trade margins, and no account minimums. Iron Beam brings the future into the present. Join now and augment your trading experience.
At some point, we have to unfortunately make that call. It's for our own sake. Too many people just go down the road and blow up and blow all their money because they get to a point where, let's say they had $5,000, they lose $4,000 over the past couple of weeks or months, and they say to themselves, man, what's another 1,000? Who gives a shit? Let's go long ES, I'm all in. And now, here you go. You're risking $1,000. Either you blow the account or you double your money or whatever, and that's the game you're playing. Now, of course, it's not really good at risk management. It's not really trading a strategy, potentially. And you got so many things going on in your head that that's just building bad habits. But what I would do is I would start with a pre-planned dollar amount that you are saying to yourself, this is my line in the sand. It could be a percentage of your income or a percentage of your savings. So let's say you're someone who's in high school, college, you don't really have much of a job, you have a part-time job. So percentage of your income could be tough because you might not have like a ton of income, but you don't have a lot of expenses, at least at the time. Maybe you've got some loans, but you've saved some money over the years and you know, okay, I've saved $2,000. I'm willing to take that $2,000 and throw it in the trash if I can't make this trading thing work. And at that point, I'll come back to the drawing boards. It's not that much money. I can come back, I can reset, I can go back to paper trading, and we can figure it out from there. If you have a full-time job and you are supporting yourself and or a family, that percentage of your income needs to be, again, an amount that will not destroy your life, okay? It sounds super obvious, but I'm telling you, we all have this like gambling addiction deep down rooted at some point, or a lot of us who are probably in the trading world have this somewhat of a gambling addiction, like that's deeply rooted. And it's very easy to over leverage or just tie up too much money or throw a lot of money into the fire, so to speak. But when you hit that specified point for this new reset that you've created or this new phase, because this could be your second, third, fourth time, when you hit that, you have to admit to yourself, okay, I'm out. This is okay. I planned for this. I'm going to stop taking my money, throwing it into the fire. I'm going to paper trade, and I'm going to come back when I have appropriate data telling me I have something here. I have an edge. I have some sort of consistent profitability. When I have that, I will try again. It's sometimes easier to be done, or many times easier to be done in paper trading, but when you come to the real market, the real world, that's where this guy gets in the way. And if you're looking for hope, I'd argue you probably don't actually suck at trading, and you're probably just bored. That's what this video is all about. See you guys in the next one.